All right, we got some good ones. It's good looking cars, guys. Knew the Golf set was coming out. Kind of in and out with Golf. I like the blue. I don't. I don't know. But the subject matter that they've been doing is really good, so I can't deny it. And they do look good when they're grouped together. When they get them out of the package. We all know who's been doing Golf. Greenlight has licensing currently right now. Round two. So, Johnny Lightning and the Auto World cars have it, and Hot Wheels has it, and Hot Wheels is Mattel, so Matchbox also, of course, by default has it as well. So, a lot of Golf right now. I'm sure it'll get a big fad for a little bit, but some of Hot Wheels' best castings are going into the 1 through 5. I got 3 of the 5. I don't need the Fiat, and I don't need the Golf, because it's like huge wheels on it and stuff. Doesn't look right. But the Laurel, always have to have Laurels. I got the first one through Japan Historic, so I got that. And I'm always a Trans Am Boss fan, so we got a Boss 302 Mustang set up like a Trans Am car. It's got a full cage. It's got the spoiler. It's got the stance, the cut fender. It's got the front air dam, and it's full deco. So definitely had to get the Ford. Even though it's not my favorite livery, it's good stuff. I haven't got any GT40s. Some of the castings I've been looking at, again, they're a little off for my taste. So we're going to stick with this. And then we got a Johnny Lightning that used to be a racing champions Ford. So we got a 1960 3/4 ton Ford truck. His little pickup truck, and it's got some good features. It's got a tailgate that operates and also has an opening hood. And I like it. So it's got rubber tires too, metal base, so the whole 9 yards. And got a good deal. And then also on the Golf set for Hot Wheels, got the McLaren F1 GTR, and supposedly a new casting from Hot Wheels, and I picked that up too. I found it. I was looking for that one. I figured I might as well get it since it's the first time and it is a premium car. I figured it would look good with the race cars. So I got that, and I'll probably open up that on camera, and we'll just look at some of the stuff. And also, we got some Matchbox, so that's all coming now. So let's take a look at the casting. I think that we'll look at the Ford. That's a good looking truck. Base is real simple. Looks like it's made out of Legos almost, but it's still heavy die cast and pretty much 1/64 scale, I'd say. These are big trucks. Not too many of these were done in scale. The only one that really did it was Ertl back in the day. They had their die cast line that they were making for, kind of like what First Gear did, making a truck to order. You put your business on the side, you order a few 100,000, sell them, give them out to employees, whatever. So they had a die cast truck of that, 1960 Ford like this, 3/4 ton, 4x4 highboy like this, and it was alright. I never picked one up because it was kind of off. I think it's 1/25 scale, but just never, was never into it. Relatively inexpensive vehicle. I mean, they're $20-$30 truck, but just never fit in. But this one, I saw it, and I saw it around, and a couple videos were made on it, and then it had, I saw it with the 2-pack with the trailer. I didn't really want the trailer, and I missed out on these trucks when they were originally released, so kind of wasn't on my radar. I didn't realize how nice that was until I kind of took a second look, and sometimes a second look is all it takes with diecast when you're doing this. There's your back, no bumper. Trucks didn't come with bumpers. Bumper always option or aftermarket. Tailgate, very delicate. Even though it's heavy diecast, it seems that the diecast pins that they set this tailgate up with are a little, they're thin, so, and it puts a little pressure on it when you lower it, so I try not to move it too much. Even with the coupon at the store, these are still a good piece of money for these things. You should be paying under $10 though for it. So good looking truck. Rubber tires, heavy tires or wheels, cast wheels. You can see there again, rivet construction, separate bumper. And there's the grill. It's all nicely molded, and the tampo for the Ford is done real well. And then there's your script and your Gulf. Hold on, let's see here. There you go. Good truck. Looks good with the stuff, you know. Back in the day, get yourself a runner. So there's our Ford, and there's some Hot Wheels cars now. Take a look at this bad boy, the Nissan Laurel. Before we get to the boss, this is a cool car. It's done really well. Old school JDM. This is a car that, unless you go to the Japanese diecast makers, you really can't find this vehicle. And the styling is cool. It looks like an old muscle car. It's just a Japanese version of one. It's got a really low stance. Diecast base. Look at that. Green. Or not green. Orange. I got a green one next to me. So that's the first casting. Here, look at this for a minute. And we got the first one. And then the one that came out after it, which is the one from the Transporter series. So there's all three of them. There's the Golf. So you get that, and then there's the green one, which I think is really good looking. Really good looking car. Shiny metal base. Let's see. They do the tampo differently on the how they do the headlights. I'd say, put this back up real quick. If you look at this one, you can see it's almost like the way they do the tampo, it's almost like a printer. Same thing with this one. This is the one that comes in the Transporter. You can see. The other thing about these Hot Wheels, this particular casting, hasn't been really a mainline yet, and I think it's one of the reasons is that this is separate. Chrome. Doesn't seem to be part of the interior or anything. Usually you have a piece for the glass, the body, the chassis, the interior. You know, those are your pieces that you get, but it seems like these are extra in there. Unless it's a plate that goes across the whole bottom. That might be it, but it's tampoed. Taillights are done. Same thing on the back. It says Laurel. Yeah, get this here. Do the one that I got recently. There you go. So you have the script there, and then there's that one to compare it to, and then the original one, which I think has the finest quality tampoing. Because if you look at the headlights on this one, the original one, it's just finer. It's a little bit finer done. But still awesome. So you get the stock one, and there were two racing ones, which really is no difference. Someone had said somewhere that the wheels were smaller on the Golf, but that's not. I mean, the same wheel, just trimmed out differently. So there's our Laurels. Just a little Laurel history, a little Laurel casting follow through. Had all three of them. Might as well look at all of them. All right. Then we got the Boss Mustang. This car has been, an RLC car, I guess, and this and that, a Spectre Flame, and I don't know about the main line. I haven't seen one recently, but it's an older casting, a 10, but a really good one. It's got really deep detail on the undercarriage. So the chassis is done really well, and I love that front splitter. And you can see how the fender arch comes way up, just like a Trans Am car is. I mean, stock stuff as much as possible, as much as the rules were back then, but the cars are still heavily modified in reality. And they really were playing with the rule book back then. This car's awesome. Great car. Those small block 302s are really, really strong motors, really competitive. Got that huge front grille for the air. Great looking car, and they tampo the back too. Let's see here real quick. Yeah. So even the trim around the taillights is done. Should be able to. I wish they would share some of their secrets with some of the other diecast makers. They all need to get together and use some traits from each one. I like it if some of the diecast makers did these wheels, because they're really the best performing wheels in this scale. Always good for wheel swaps. So there's some golf cars, and I found some other stuff. One of the last ones we'll look at when the golf Hot Wheels is the GTR. So a really cool car. There's the nice packaging that they do. Hard card, real stiff. And there's the cars that there's the ones you can buy. I didn't really need that or that. Although they're well done. I saw this one. This one was gone, so there's definitely people in my area that like this car and this one. I was very surprised that this one was available still. But yeah, here's the GTR. So we'll take a look at this. Let's take a look here. I'll crack it off camera so I don't knock the camera over. Take a look at it real quick. So there she is, old GTR. Let it focus real quick. There we go. Well, I liked it because of the dark color, the dark blue. I thought that was great. Interior, got the center steering. And there's a tampo for the headlights. This car is based off, this series is based off a road car. So that's what made it so famous. It's such a high performance car. It's very close to the road car, this version that raced. It's got good tampo. When you look at it close, just so you know what I'm talking about this effect that comes up. Let me see if I can zoom in on it. It's not as prominent on this one, which is good. But instead of it feeling like it's a solid piece of paint, it's definitely like, you could see the individual dots when you look closely. And that's the trade-off. You can kind of see it in the Gulf orange. Trade-off between having this nice detail without a lot of errors. I mean, really, if you look at this, there's not a lot of errors at all. But the only other thing about this car that doesn't make it, one of my favorites, I mean, it's a new casting and all, it's that rear tire. I mean, that's very Hot Wheels trademark, is having the larger wheel on the back. So it would have been great if they used the same wheels, but they didn't. So metal base, flat black. Flip it over so you can see the chassis. It's done real well. I mean, it's like all these car culture premiums. They're nice. I have to look at other cars and see what the kind of scaling is on it. Hopefully it's pretty close to 1/64th. And these cars were not large, but they weren't tiny either. They weren't like really, really tiny. There she is. So there's a McLaren. Good looking car. Yeah. Let's see. Yeah, it's good. Alright, so parked this old girl in the garage. So got the Laurel and the Mustang. Put the old GTR in there and get it worked on. Alright. So a couple others. Got a couple other ones. Here we go. Finished out some Jeeps. So these are all the Jeeps that are finally out. So I finally found the black one. So I found a double of it, so I was able to remove one of them. Those are 2 Wagoneers. So this will be in the Matchbox area now. So this is metallic black, and then they got the red one. It's always good to have. And finally found a new 19 model as well. The Jeep, which is really cool. So we got the Jeepster. I think it's a Commando 69, something like that. I love it. Really good. This one probably looks very close to 1/64th. I don't know. It's pretty good. These were not small. They weren't as small as the CJs. It's got the roof rack with the sunroof. I thought that was really cool. And they tampoed the rear deck and the sides. And got a winch on it. And it's got the Hot Wheels new rims that they're doing. It's also going to be on the new Land Rover pickup. But there's the old Jeep. It's got the tampo for the Commando. Looks awesome. Jeepster. Good looking truck. So there's my little Jeeparoo. And yeah, so a couple of Golfs and a couple of some Jeeps over here. Till next time.